Normally, me, I wouldn't make the kind of video like this. Is Don't worry, I'm still gonna do my video on the 2022 midterm elections. I'm just waiting till after the Georgia Senate runoff before I do so. But while we're waiting on that, we need to address the elephant in the room. That is the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar and the recent stuff that has come out about it. Oh boy, we got a lot to unpack here. We should have seen this one coming. Oh wait, we actually did indeed see this one coming the moment this was announced. Just ignore the news you're seeing here. We just need to start unpacking. So let's start with some news here. First up, we have European cities ditching fan zones to protest. This should come as no surprise. Qatar has been known for human rights issues a lot. When sports become political, you know something is wrong. Um, that much uh, is clear. And you will see this stuff happen over controversies. But then we have more stuff to talk about where France's Macron has said ahead that, quote, sports should not be politicized. You're right, they shouldn't. They really shouldn't. And it's also in 3 days, I should add. It's in 3 whole days. And to add to all these controversies, we have this coming out. So, what happened is that there was a reporter er, uh, trying to deliver news in regards to the World Cup back to his homeland of Denmark, or when he and the cameraman are confronted by officials, supposedly, and we already have the first tense encounter that was caught. The reporter is Rasmus Kotholt. Well, despite the apology, there are still things going on. You can see here the reporter was quoted as saying, "Mister, you invited the whole world to come here. Why can't we film as a public place?" And that was said in English too. Don't get twisted. Despite being Danish, they actually do speak some English. It got more serious with people talking about threatening by smashing the camera. And here's another quote from the reporter here. "You can break the camera. You want to break it? Okay, you break the camera. So you're threatening us by smashing the camera." So it's possible that depending on how they choose to handle things, depending on where you are, there's a chance it may not even air. But now I want to take Twitter because as one of those popular sports YouTubers, Yearning Tree, has indeed started a thread on this. And I would like to go through this entire thread. Okay, so here's how things have gone. Must adhere to Qatari law. Any alcohol, pork product, or displays of homosexuality result in imprisonment. Fire festival as thingy tents, as opposed to the proper amenities. Stadiums built off slave labor. You can already tell that this video will most likely get age restricted just from some of the stuff I've mentioned up to this point, and even more so solidified. Right? Journalists harassed, accusations of Qatar bribing opponents to tank. Yes, there was an incident, and we'll get to in this next one. When there's smoke, there's fire. Yes, there is. It says here, exclusive. Qatar bribed 8 Ecuadorian players $7.4 million to lose the opener. 1-0 soccer second half. 5 Qatari and Ecuador insiders confirmed this. We hope it's false. We hope sharing this will affect the outcome. The world should oppose FIFA corruption. Are not going to take bribes, depending on the country. They may not take bribes to tank. So there's one issue. And here's another issue. Qatar rushes to hide World Cup beer tents after demand from royal family. Sorry, royal family. And the response is, we want sponsors visible for the fans in the World Cup. Main World Cup sponsor is Ambev, a beer distributor. No, not like that. That's like your Budweiser stuff, I'm assuming. And now, it took until now for Sepp Blatter, or the former head, to come out saying he regrets selecting. It's a spectacle so glorious that Sepp Blatter, the former head of FIFA and part-time Bond villain, which, if you've seen James Bond, there's a chance you may actually see the resemblance, has openly regretted, quote, selecting Qatar for the 2022 World Cup. Funny how this comes out after he allegedly took all those bribes to give Qatar the World Cup, which we already knew was going to be in a lot of controversy from the moment it was announced. For those of us that are starting to get into it for the first time, we then and learned about it and realized how much controversy there's going to be. And then continuing on with reading the threads, special shout out to all the hard work that forced slave labor did to make sure this World Cup was responsible. Over 6,500 workers were not making it out. Truly a beacon of progressive ideals. So, this should tell you here about the age restriction. I may just have to do it myself. And to end things off, not quite yet, because apparently there's still more. Behold the glorious feast available at the World Cup. Greek salad. A handful of wilted, oxidized lettuce, one slice of cucumber quartered, one cherry tomato sliced, one olive. The price for this feast? £9 British. That is a lot of money to charge for such a small amount, and also something that doesn't even look edible. And here's the most recent part of the thread that as of this video, well, as of the recording anyways. Check out the swelling of fan support that's flooded Qatar. These are totally not Qataris migrants to Qatar being paid a few bucks and some sandwiches to cheer for these teams. And they mentioned they've been accused of hiring fans in the past. So we don't know what's going on here for this part, but it's already bad. Somebody added, had to shift by several months due to hostile climate. Examples of grass occur few and far between, so I'd imagine they're playing on turf for the very first time. And of course, you know what happens when because this intersects with NFL. A lot of leg related injuries are going to occur if they follow through with turf. Which means this could be the most injury prone on FIFA World Cup of all time. If it remains on the pace it is right now. So with all of this, what hopes do I have for the FIFA World Cup? An absolute disaster. Yes, fans are going to show up, but in terms of the actual quality and how it ends, it'll be an absolute disaster. I'm not taking any questions of it. That is what I'm going with. That is where things are heading, and that's where I think it'll end. So many things. Hope you managed to stick along because, oh boy, I expect more stuff to come out in the coming days and weeks as the World Cup progresses. This this is definitely going to be age restricted, and I don't blame the people at YouTube for doing so because this is such a ridiculous situation, and there is no way that kids are gonna try to watch this. They don't want to watch something that is going to make them scared. This is what makes people scared to having anything to do with nonprofit organizations and being corrupt. If we thought Russia was bad, if we thought China was bad, we haven't seen anything yet. And we may see more backlash out of this than any sporting event we've had thus far in the 21st century. So thank you all so much for tuning in, and I'm actually gonna start sharing my Twitter now. Now, if you want to know where to find this urinating tree person I've read, there'll be a link in the description to his Twitter and his YouTube. Be sure to go check him out. Now, if you haven't already, he does all kinds of sports content, and and I hope this is just a one-off thing. Well, aside from the terms, but I'm still hoping this just stays as like a one-off kind of situation where I don't do this again. And but You never know, history may force my hand like Donald Trump announcing a bid for 2024 election. God help us all.